I was just support, until the lives of 72 soldiers depended on my plan. My name is Rachel Carter, I'm 32, and I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, where my family always saw me as the helper. My older sister, Emily, was the star, valedictorian, Ivy League grad, now a rising defense contractor at Apex Defense Solutions. My brother, Matt, was a decorated Army officer, always the hero at family dinners. Me? I was the support staff, a logistics coordinator at Apex, the one they assumed filed papers and booked flights. They didn't know I'd designed a system that saved lives, and soon the Pentagon would know my name. It started a year ago at our family's Thanksgiving dinner in Charlotte. The table was loaded with turkey and Mom's famous cornbread, but the conversation was all about Emily's latest contract and Matt's medals. I sat quietly, passing the gravy, until Emily smirked. "Rachel, still playing secretary at Apex?" Matt chuckled. "What do? Book the boss's hotels?" Mom patted my hand. "It's a stable job, sweetie." Dad just nodded, distracted. Their words stung, but I'd heard them before. To them, I was the backup, the one who supported their brilliance. The truth? I wasn't just a coordinator. At Apex, I'd developed a logistics algorithm to optimize supply chains for military operations in remote areas. It wasn't glamorous, no medals, no corner office, but it ensured troops got food, ammo, and medical supplies on time. I'd spent years coding, testing, and pitching it to my boss, Greg Harlan, who called it game-changing, but never gave me credit. Instead, he presented it as teamwork, while I stayed in the background, labeled support staff. I didn't fight it, yet. I was waiting for the right moment. That moment came when Apex got a call from the Pentagon. A crisis was unfolding overseas. 72 soldiers were stranded in a conflict zone, cut off from supplies due to a logistics failure. My algorithm could reroute resources in hours, not days. Greg pitched it to the Pentagon, taking full credit, and they invited him to a briefing in D.C. to present the plan. I overheard him on a call boasting, "I've got this locked down." My blood boiled. This was my work, my sleepless nights, my solution. I wasn't going to let him steal it. I went to my coworker, Lisa, who'd seen me build the algorithm from scratch. "He's doing it again," I told her over coffee in Charlotte. "Taking my work to the Pentagon." Lisa shook her head. "You need to speak up, Rachel. This is huge." I nodded, but a straight complaint wouldn't work. Greg had the ear of Apex's CEO, and I'd look like a whiner. I needed a plan that would put me in that briefing room, not just as support, but as the one in charge. I started gathering evidence. I had backups of every email I'd sent Greg with my algorithm specs, timestamps showing I'd coded it 2 years ago. I found meeting notes where he'd called it Rachel's project, before claiming it as his own. Lisa helped me pull server logs proving I'd run the simulations. It was airtight, but I needed to get it to the right people. I reached out to a contact at the Pentagon, Major Karen Ellis, who I'd met at a logistics conference. I sent her a discreet email. "I have critical info on Apex's supply chain solution. Can we talk?" She replied, "Send it over. I'll make sure it's seen." I sent Karen the evidence, including a demo of my algorithm. She called me the next day. "This is impressive, Rachel. Why isn't your name on it?" I told her everything. Greg's credit stealing, my family's dismissal, my years in the shadows. "I want to present it myself," I said. Karen paused. "Get to D.C., I'll get you in the room." I booked a flight to Washington, telling no one, not even Lisa. Greg thought he was the star of the briefing. He was about to meet the real one. Hey, if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We bring you epic family drama and revenge tales every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned, because Rachel's about to take charge. The Pentagon briefing was 4 days away, and I was in Charlotte, finalizing my plan to take back what was mine. My boss, Greg Harlan, thought he'd waltz into D.C. and claim credit for my logistics algorithm, the one that could save 72 stranded soldiers. My family, my sister Emily and brother Matt, thought I was just support staff at Apex Defense Solutions, fetching coffee and filing papers. They had no idea I'd built the system that had the Pentagon's attention. I wasn't going to let Greg steal my work or my family keep mocking me. The briefing would change everything. I spent the week gathering more ammo. Lisa, my coworker, helped me pull every email, code commit, and meeting note tied to my algorithm. One email from Greg stood out. Rachel's draft is solid, but I'll present it as mine for credibility. Credibility? I'd coded it from scratch, tested it through hundreds of simulations, and debugged it at 3 a.m. while Greg was at happy hour. I saved the email, along with server logs showing my work predated his claims by a year. It was a paper trail he couldn't erase. I called Major Karen Ellis, my Pentagon contact, to confirm my spot at the briefing. "You're on the list," she said, "but Greg's listed as the lead presenter. You sure about this?" I nodded, though she couldn't see me. "I'll handle it. Just make sure I'm in the room." Karen didn't ask for details, but her tone was sharp. "I trust you know what you're doing, Rachel." I did. Greg wasn't just stealing credit. He was risking lives by pretending he understood a system he couldn't even explain. I wasn't going to let that slide. Back at Apex, I played the part of the dutiful coordinator. I smiled at Greg, asked about his DC trip, even offered to prep his slides. "Good work, Rachel," he said, oblivious. "You're a great support." I bit my tongue, saving my energy for the briefing. Meanwhile, I learned Emily and Matt would be there too. Emily as Apex's lead contractor, Matt as an Army liaison. They'd been invited by Greg to showcase the team. Perfect. They'd mocked me at Thanksgiving, calling my job a joke. Now they'd see me on the Pentagon stage. I needed an ally at Apex, so I looped in Lisa fully. Over lunch in Charlotte, I showed her the evidence. "You're going nuclear," she said, eyes wide. "If this backfires, Greg will tank your career." I leaned forward. "He's already tanking it by stealing my work. I'm taking it back." Lisa agreed to back me up, promising to send Karen a signed statement confirming I'd built the algorithm. I also contacted Apex's CEO, Diane Foster, anonymously. I sent her a zip file with my evidence, labeled Urgent Pentagon Briefing. I didn't expect a reply, but I wanted her radar on. To cover my bases, I prepped a presentation of my own. It detailed the algorithm's design, how it rerouted supplies using real-time data, cutting delivery times by 60%. I included a slide with Greg's email, anonymized but clear. "Rachel's draft is solid, but I'll present it." I practiced until my voice was steady, my points sharp. I wasn't going to yell or cry. I'd be professional, undeniable, the one in charge. The day before my flight to DC, I got a call from Emily. "Rachel, you're coming to the Pentagon thing, right?" she asked, her tone dripping with pity. "Greg says you're helping with logistics." I smiled, gripping my phone. "Something like that." She sighed. "Don't mess this up for us, okay? It's a big deal." I almost laughed. Mess it up? I was about to make it unforgettable. I flew to DC that night, my laptop packed with evidence, my suit pressed and ready. At the hotel, I ran into Matt in the lobby, decked out in his Army uniform. "Rachel?" he said, surprised. "What are you doing here?" I shrugged. "Work." He smirked. "Don't spill coffee on the generals." I smiled, letting him think he'd won that round. Tomorrow, he'd see who was really calling the shots. Hey, if you're loving this revenge story, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop epic family drama and takedowns every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned because Rachel's about to steal the show. The Pentagon briefing room was a fortress of steel and silence, filled with generals, analysts, and Apex Defense Solutions executives. I, Rachel Carter, stood at the back, my laptop ready with evidence that my logistics algorithm, stolen by my boss, Greg Harlan, could save 72 stranded soldiers. My sister Emily and brother Matt, who'd mocked me as support staff at our family's Thanksgiving dinner in Charlotte, sat near the front, clueless that I was about to take the stage. Greg thought he'd claim the credit and the glory. Today, he'd learn who was really in charge. Major Karen Ellis, my Pentagon contact, met me before the briefing. "You're up after Greg," she whispered, her eyes sharp. "Make it count." I nodded, my suit crisp, my presentation loaded. The room buzzed with tension. Everyone knew lives were on the line. Greg took the podium, all smiles, launching into a polished speech about his algorithm. "This system optimizes supply chains in real time," he said, clicking through slides I'd built. Emily clapped proudly. Matt nodded, impressed. I stayed calm, waiting. When Greg opened the floor for questions, a general, General Thompson, frowned. "How does it handle real-time rerouting under enemy fire?" Greg stammered, his face paling. He didn't know the code, didn't understand the math. I stepped forward, raising my hand. "I can answer that," I said, my voice steady. All eyes turned to me, including Greg's, wide with panic. Emily's jaw dropped. Matt leaned forward, confused. "I'm Rachel Carter, the creator of this algorithm," I said, walking to the podium. Greg tried to interrupt. "Rachel, your support staff." I cut him off, projecting my laptop screen. "These emails show I designed it 2 years ago. Greg presented it as his own." I clicked to a slide with his email. "Rachel's draft is solid, but I'll present it." The room went silent. General Thompson raised an eyebrow. "Is this true, Mr. Harlan?" Greg fumbled. "It's a team effort." I clicked again, showing server logs with my code commits. "I wrote every line," I said. I turned to the general. "To your question, the algorithm uses real-time data to reroute supplies, accounting for threats like enemy fire. It saved mock missions and simulations, cutting delivery times by 60%. I ran a demo, the screen showing supplies rerouting on a map. The generals nodded, some jotting notes. Emily stared, her face red. Matt's mouth hung open. Greg sank into his chair, defeated. General Thompson stood. "Mrs. Carter, you're in charge of this operation. Brief us on implementation." I nodded, detailing the plan, deploying the algorithm to reroute supplies to the 72 soldiers within hours. The room applauded, and Karen gave me a subtle nod. Greg was escorted out, his career in ruins. Apex's CEO, Diane Foster, approached me after, her face grim. "I got your evidence. You're promoted to lead strategist. Greg's out." I thanked her, my heart racing with triumph. Emily and Matt cornered me in the hall. "Rachel, why didn't you tell us?" Emily said, her voice shaking. Matt added, "We didn't know you were... this." I looked at them, calm. "You never asked. You called me a secretary while I was saving lives." They had no response. Back in Charlotte, word spread. My parents called, stunned but proud. I didn't need their apologies. I'd proven myself where it mattered. The algorithm worked. The soldiers got their supplies, and the Pentagon requested a full rollout. I moved to D.C., leading Apex's logistics division. My family's Thanksgiving table would never be the same, and neither would I. Hey, if you loved this epic takedown, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop the best family drama and revenge stories every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from, Charlotte, D.C. Isrenia or across the world. Thanks for joining us. I left the Pentagon that day, my name on every screen in the briefing room. They thought I was just support. Now they knew I was the one they answered to.